Okay, Dana Abercrombie, The Koalition. I thoroughly enjoyed both of your characters, and I mean that so much. It was very emotional for me. My question, starting with Grace, as Lucy, you described yourself as someone who doesn't get excited about things. Lucy did. Um, but I was wondering through this relationship, it completely changes you. What would you say that Stephen gives Lucy that she hasn't gotten before?
Newness, just all of these new feelings that she's never felt before, that range from sexual awakening to feeling heard and never meeting anybody like him. All of these new feelings and things that she's never experienced before, I think she mistakes for the potential of love, and causes her to latch onto it so that she's able to feel.
Jackson, as Stephen, he has been described as everyone from charming to loving to a complete psychopath. My question, well, you playing him to you,
I'm sorry, the last part of your question cut off there.
saying who is he to you?
He's my best friend. He's really complicated. He's a completely different person than me. He's a really internalized, locked up, kind of traumatized person who survives by projecting on other people, manipulating situations, and moving through life, controlling other people. And he's really complicated. He's a really complicated person, and that's how I really wanted him to be portrayed and seen, as a lot going on. And I don't think he's just one thing. I don't think he's the bad guy. I don't think he is the sociopath villain that he might be described as in a character description. I think he's really detailed and complicated, just like people are.
Mm-hmm. Now, for both of you, we're able to come home with the characters and see how they interact with their family. I was wondering, who would you think they would become without their mothers?
Whoa.
Oh, that's deep.
Like without them in their lives at all, or without the way they are?
Away, because it seems like they can't break away from their home life, especially from their mothers.
Uh-huh.
That's a very interesting question. I have no idea. I mean, I know.
I think that everyone gets something from their first experience with love and attention, and that's your parents. And I think that with Stephen, with his mom, he's completely projecting all of his early childhood trauma on his relationships in college. I mean, that's pretty obvious when you watch it. And without that, I think he would have a different approach. I think he's definitely born with a certain mischievous, sort of to the left way of thinking about things. But I think the disconnect with his mom really, started a lot of the toxicity.
Right. Yeah, and Lucy's mom is a huge part of her trauma and why she feels so numb in the beginning. So, I'm sure if she didn't have that trauma, she'd have some other trauma that she'd be dealing with. So I don't know. There's no way to know.
The show really relies on unreliable narratives. So I was wondering, how do you view your characters?
Very complicated and changing throughout the season. I think you see Lucy really unravel throughout the show. And what I really like about it is that you're learning about all of these characters as they're kind of learning about themselves in real time. And I think that's really interesting to watch, because no one quite knows who they are in the show.
Yeah, I think just going into it, you have to empathize with them. You have to understand them and understand their perspective on things. So you naturally never. I don't think you ever hate the person you're playing, because you have to get down with them. You have to understand them, and that's why it's going to be so complicated to watch. It's because you're like, wow, this person really believes what the fuck they're saying. And that's interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you both so much. I love the show.
Thank
you. So happy. Thank you.
Appreciate it.